What's up, YouTube world? So, I didn't realize that you're supposed to push the save button after you use voice memos. So, what you're going to hear is some good audio from Victoria, and you're going to hear some mediocre audio from me. So, I am so sorry, but I hope you still enjoy the podcast. So, yeah.
And this is sips. Should this be sips and nips or sips and slides?
Sips and I don't have slides, and there's no nips.
Sips
though.
and nips. No, you're the nips. So. Okay, sips and nips. Okay, cool. We'll do it one more time. Ready? 3, 2. Good morning, YouTube world. My name is. Wow, Jesus, what was that?
Come on.
Good morning, YouTube world. This is Joshua coaching your overnight success story, and this is sips and nips. I forgot we have to take the photo. So with me today, I have Victoria. Now, this is going to be actually really interesting for me because typically what I do is I sit down with people, and this is so fun. I like this. I sit down with people and I get to know them. I talk with them. We have dinner, coffee, whatever, freaking brunch if need be. Mm-hmm. And I get to know who they are, what they like, all that kind of stuff, right? So with you, I haven't done that at all. Like, I don't know. I mean, I know a little bit, but I know nothing.
We're going in
about
raw.
You. Yes, and this is so nice. So essentially, I want to get to know you. I want to get to know, and we only have about like 25 minutes. So
Okay.
we can do it if you like the way that this is done. Then we can do this again, and we can do it more longer form. And I think you will like it. Let's start out with this. So, where do I know you? Let's start with there.
So we met like the first couple of days I started working at EOS.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, the one over here.
59th Thunderbird.
Yeah.
I'm so bad with directions.
No, that's
But yeah, you were just coming in all hyped up, ready to work out for like the third time that day.
Yeah.
And then we introduced ourselves, tell you my boyfriend's a photographer, you're a photographer, conversation sparks. I just tell you like out of the blue like how many followers I have, and you're all surprised.
Yeah, I'm like, you're working at the front desk of EOS, and you've got you don't have to say it, but like, I mean, I'll put her little handle here somewhere so that way you can have more followers. But yeah, so you have you tell me all this, and I'm like, why are you working here? And so and I got just super excited, and anybody who knows me and the people who will get to know me now, they know that like I have so much energy and so much enthusiasm, and so like it can be overwhelming. Mm-hmm. And I think it was for you at first. And you're like, why is this guy?
No, okay. The way that I reacted towards it was like, you know what, he is right. Like, I'm pretty sure I could be doing so much more with my platform, and I'm here working like a minimum wage job, which I enjoy. I love doing it. But I felt like I was slacking on what I was doing, and like, you know the reason why. Like, you know, I told you why.
Yeah.
Like the kinds of followers that I have aren't really.
No, actually, go ahead. Like, do you mind talking about that?
Yeah, totally.
Like, I really wanted to talk to you about that.
Yeah, so it just starts from like how I gained my followers. It was just this creepy little YouTube video that popped up. This little TikTok guy interviewed me. Whole bunch of creepos.
Look at me.
Whole bunch of creeps.
Yeah. We're having a conversation.
No, I'm having a conversation. Okay.
Yeah, I know. There's just a camera.
Yeah. Okay, so a whole bunch of creeps just started following me. The type of guys that you would consider incels were following me. And it was really unmotivating seeing those followers roll through, and the amount of disrespect.
So, let's go back.
Yeah.
So who made this video? Did you make the video?
No. It wasn't me. It was so at ASU where I go. There's a bunch of like little YouTubers that go around and asking questions and whatnot. And so I just happened to be interviewed. I had known them before, and I knew they had like such a like not that big of a following.
Yeah.
I thought, okay, maybe 10,000 views at most, right? No, 20 million views on TikTok.
20 million?
20 million views on TikTok. Plus, it blew up on Instagram as well. I didn't even want to check what happened there.
Yeah.
I just like kind of blocked myself out of it. The followers rolled through. Not the kind of crowd that I wanted if I were to have a platform. So like, I start checking my DMs. It's just a bunch of creeps. It's just a bunch of like.
Is it dick pics?
It's a bunch of dick pics, like OnlyFans question mark, like, can you send me this and this? And I'm like, no, like this is Instagram. This is not OnlyFans. So I just felt super disrespected.
Yeah.
And so the reason I don't do much with my platform is I don't want to cater to these people. I don't want to offer anything to these people because I feel like that's how they win. That's how, they're pleased. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, see, I didn't know. See, I didn't know this. I didn't know that it started off like. So, like, did they ask you like some like raunchy questions or something like that?
So the interview started, or they were just talking to me, and they were like, "What's the craziest thing you did, like with your ex, or something you never told your ex, something along those lines?"
Ooh, okay.
Right, and I was like, nothing. I could not come up with anything. I'm just like, I couldn't come up with anything, right?
Yeah.
And so they were like, just make something up. And I was like, for what? And so
did you make something
so
up?
I made something up, right? Yeah, and then that went bad. And then there was another separate video that happened the same day, exact same time. For the other, there was two, right? So the other guy was like, say something in Spanish. And that was something kind of innocent, right?
Okay.
That was fine.
Okay.
But I feel like to the people that saw the video, I was just like misrepresented, right?
Yeah.
So they just took this like pretty little ditz, and that's how they see me, not recognizing that I am like a fucking human being,
Yeah.
And so that's how most of my followers see me.
Damn.
As just like this piece of ass.
Yeah.
Now,
first of all, you do have a following now.
right.
And so, something that so let's fast forward. So then okay, you've got a lot, let's just say it, a lot of followers, okay, on over a bunch of different platforms. So I want to let me ask you this question. If you were to change the narrative, what do you want the narrative to be?
As if I had a choice on what my following would be?
No, not the following. So whenever I say narrative, I mean what let me say it in a different way. So a celebrity has, let's just say, 1 million followers, okay? And they're always looked at a certain way. Let's say one of the celebrities was on a TV show whenever they were younger. Mm-hmm. You could literally pick so many different people in that category. Then all of a sudden they become older. Woman gets boobs, big butt, and then now starts wearing scandalous stuff. Again, you can name a bunch of different people. The whole world, because that's their platform, 1 million followers on different social media, whatever.
Yeah.
They're like, what the hell is she doing? Why is she doing that? But then the narrative or the what she is trying to say to the world about who she is has changed. It's not that she is a young celebrity on a TV show. It's that she's a woman who is trying to produce or do something for the world, for herself, makeup, clothes, helping the world, philanthropy, anything like that. So, the question that I have that I'm proposing to you is that you all, you're young. How old are you?
18.
You're 18.
Mm-hmm.
And you now have this platform. I'm 28. I'm still building out my platform. And you have this platform where you are able to say, do, or be anything that you want. And there are people who will see, and there are people who will obviously fall off, but there will also be people who will share. And so you actually do have this platform. So based on that, I hope you've thought about this, and if you haven't, then tell me your thoughts. What do you want to be looked at now? Because you have a choice.
I do. And I think I never really realized that because I feel like my platform was taken away from me from these guys, But I have a lot of interest. I like a lot of stuff. And being able to express those things, not just fitness. I don't just like fitness. Fitness is not my life. I enjoy rock music. I love art. I love things. Yeah.
It's okay. Your fire's going on.
Things of that nature. And so being able to show the world how much I enjoy certain things would, I think, make me so much happier than what my narrative is now. Okay. Yeah. Let's go a little. Let me ask you because I don't know this. So, what are you interested in? You just said rock music, which I would never have guessed. Right.
So, what are you? Are you interested in camping? Are you interested in I mean, I really don't know, so please enlighten me.
Right. So I am a huge fan of music, especially rock music. I collect vinyl CDs, you know.
Really?
Yeah, and so
That's cool.
And my boyfriend and I are huge fans of just vintage rock T-shirts. Like we scavenge to find vintage rock T-shirts. Yeah, and
that's really cool.
yeah, and things like that really appeal to me. I love Japanese culture, not just anime, not just ramen, but I love Japanese architecture, Japanese nature. I love all of it.
What ethnicity are you?
Huh?
What ethnicity are you?
I'm Mexican.
You're Mexican?
Yeah.
Okay. Because as soon as you're Japanese, I'm just like, all right, so are you...
No, my both parents are immigrants from Mexico. Like, I just grew up a weird kid, right? I was chubby. I was not attractive. So I think, like, when you grow up like that, you're just like, okay, I'm not going to be attractive. I might as well just look for other things. And so I looked into just a bunch of, like, small little things. I can't really think of them at the top of my head. But, like...
Let me rewind real quick. So to give some context, I met you, and whenever I met you, I talked about my photography, and I shoot boudoir. I do a whole bunch of stuff, and then you immediately were like, "Yep, I got a boyfriend," and I'm like, that wasn't the point.
Yeah.
Because I was talking to you and two other people who were in the front. This is really nice that I get to just talk normal, because of the mic. So I asked you, okay, so what does your boyfriend do? Like, who's your boyfriend? Because I was interested, and then you're like, oh, he's a photographer, and I'm like, oh, and so. To give some context, this podcast actually, and like I pride myself in being very honest, and so like this, I wanted to say this on cameras because this podcast almost didn't happen because of the way that you met your boyfriend is the way that I kind of approached you, and I didn't mean for it to be like that. So what I did was I'm like, hey, like I see that you have a big following. I would like to talk to you about what your thoughts are. I'd like to give you a couple clips of this so that way, hopefully, I would be able to move the needle along, like with my business, but like selfishly help me, but also give you clips so that way you could put that on your social media. And you were very hesitant. And because if you can explain that part, I guess it was a little bit of how your boyfriend approached you.
Right. And so it's a lot more than just like my boyfriend being jealous. It's the way that my boyfriend and I know that men approach me. So it goes much farther than like my boyfriend not wanting me to be with you or talk to you right now. It's knowing that every encounter that I have with the male, if not all but most, are usually leaning into something, you know, not friendly. If you know what I mean. Like some guy trying to take advantage of you. Right. And so I've kind of held my guard up, and in my head, I'm like, whenever a guy is nice to me, it's because they don't know I have a boyfriend. Because when I tell them that I have a boyfriend, their mood shifts, and they're no longer respectful towards me. They're very dismissive. They're very like, oh, don't fucking talk to me, you know? And so when you approached me and you were like, you were still nice to me after I told you that I had a boyfriend, I was like, okay. And, you know, you're looking at me like, what the heck? But it's so true. It's so true for me to experience that.
And you are not the first woman that has expressed that to me. That's one of the reasons why I wanted to start this podcast. The Sips and Nips podcast is so that way I can like actually talk to women about what happens to them. Because unfortunately, fortunately for me, but unfortunately, so fortunately or unfortunately, fortunately for me, because I'm a male, unfortunately for me, because I'm a male, this does not happen to me often. And so for my female friends, I had just become aware of this. I didn't know that this happens on a regular basis to women.
Right.
And so whenever you said that to me, it just brought up another incident, another instance where men are shitty to women. So I'm trying to pack a lot into this little bit of time, which is fine. But before I continue to ask you a few questions, I do want to ask I think I asked you this, and by the way, for some context, because we have never talked before, I have not done a boudoir session with you, and I do not want to do a boudoir session with you, for the reason that I don't want any confusion from the boyfriend about what my relationship is with you.
Right.
What my relationship with you is. If that makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense.
So now there have been a lot. I'm assuming there have been, from what you said, a lot of instances where men have been assholes to you. So has there been anything that has been stuck inside you, has been like you've been holding in? There's a camera, and I kind of just want you to let out whatever it is that you've been thinking that you've been holding in, because I can only imagine having a boyfriend. First of all, what that feels like for yourself, then what it feels like whenever you're in a relationship, and then what it feels like, what you perceive it to feel like for him. And so for you, go ahead, what were you thinking?
Okay, so I want a little more clarification.
Yeah.
What it feels like having this platform with a boyfriend?
Don't worry about the platform. I'm worrying about you.
What it feels like to have a boyfriend?
No. What it feels like. So, so for me, if I was in your position, there would be things that I would have held in. Let's just say, for instance, I got so angry at this guy, and I'm making up a name. This is not, I'm a female, right? And so this guy a couple weeks ago, I'm making up a scenario. Mm-hmm. I'm a female. This guy a couple weeks ago, his name is Samuel. He comes up to me and then he says, "Nice ass." And what happened for me is I have to hold it in, because what am I going to do? Yell at him in the gym? And now this has affected me personally over a course of weeks.
Like your feelings toward everything that's kind of happened, and if you feel anything toward guys, do you want to say anything?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, sorry, I'm stupid.
No.
But, dude, where should I start? Okay, so even before whatever Instagram, I was always uncomfortable in areas crowded by guys, and so I took up the gym 2 years ago, and obviously crowded by men, and so that's when I started putting my guard up a little bit more. So, but that didn't stop men from coming up to me and telling me weird stuff with the idea that I would feel good about it. So, an instance, there's this old guy at the gym who he's like, "Oh, I see you as a daughter." And I'm like, weird, gross, okay. And then he goes on and says stuff like, "Oh, I didn't recognize you with those shorts on." And I was like, what?
The guy who just said
yeah, that. I see you as a daughter. And I was just like, ever since then, I just kind of sway away from ever talking to guys that aren't friends, because I just know that eventually something like that will happen. So in my head, I kind of, hate is a very big word. Yeah. It's a very strong word, but very, 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 very much dislike men. And I feel guilty for that. I feel guilty because that dislike for men, it shouldn't be stereotypical, because I assume that all men are the same. But there's enough men that have made me assume that all men are the same. And so something that I've been wanting to hide away, something that I've been keeping in my heart or whatever, is that I really just am disgusted by men most times. And that was just an added on emotion, or an exemplified emotion whenever I got that following. So that was just the icing to the cake, that I really, 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 I don't want to say hate my followers, but dislike the way that they treat me and the way that they view me. And I've gotten a whole bunch of comments whenever I complain about this. Whenever I'm like, "Hey, don't comment and stuff like that under my post," they're like, "Well, why do you dress like that? Why?" They kind of sound so Neanderthal. It's if you don't want to be treated like this, then why have big ass, Damn. So I've learned to just deal with it. Not deal with it, actually. I've learned to just lock it away. The fact that the men that follow me don't have any sort of emotional intelligence. Mm-hmm. And they're so, I would say, just underdeveloped in the head to assume that because I like posting pictures of myself, and because I felt cute at the gym today and decided to post a picture or a video that I am just a whore and the biggest slut in the world. And so I've just accepted that men see me that way, and I'm not going to try to change their view on me.
No, and that's not your responsibility.
Yeah, right. So.
But whenever you say that you've accepted how they see you, that's where it scares me, because like for as much as I know about you, like we obviously haven't hung out and we haven't done anything past like seeing each other at the gym or doing this podcast. I know that you're a respectable woman, and by the way, let me ask you, what are your aspirations? Like, what are you trying to do?
Okay, so I'm currently going to ASU for a marketing degree, and I have a fashion minor, so I hope to be a marketing director for some fashion company, hopefully Versace. I really, really enjoy fashion. That's one of my other hobbies. Yeah. And so studying the fashion world, along with designers, but not only that, but just what goes behind the designer, what actually just the idea of promoting all of that. That's what interests me.
Really?
Yes.
And did we talk about this before?
I don't think so. And it's so funny to me because like these followers, they see me as like a piece of ass, and they don't know that like I'm an actual human being with interests and hobbies, and so
that you're smart,
and that I relatively smart. And it saddens me, because like there's almost 40,000 people that perceive me this way, and 40,000 is a lot. It's a lot of people. Like you put 40,000 people in a stadium, it's a lot of people.
Yeah.
And so I've always...
That's only on one platform.
Yeah. And so I've always held myself up to the standard of being a respectable woman. But apparently if I post a picture of me at the gym, that just takes away from my respectability. That just takes away from everything that I've worked and earned.
Here's my thought. Okay, so I'm obviously not a woman, right? And I have no right to tell you what to do or how to do it at all. Okay, what I'm trying to say with that is like, for me, like if you post something, what I believe is that you have the ability to put whatever it is that you are thinking, whatever it is that you are trying to do behind that photo or video. And that way there's no confusion. I feel like, and this is just my opinion, I could be wrong, okay? But there are some people, I feel like there's a lot of people in this world. And you tell me if you think I'm right or wrong, and I want to know, okay? And then we're probably gonna have to stop here soon. Okay. But we have about five minutes. I feel like there are people who post things on social media and let society, their following, their friends, whatever it may be, decide what that means, instead of taking control of the narrative, instead of taking control of what you're trying to what you're trying to do, just to, like, for some people, just to get likes, just to get comments, just to get validation. It doesn't, like, I'm not saying that that's you. Look, and to be honest, like, sometimes I post I haven't had this body. I've never had this body, okay? I used to be 170 something pounds, and now I'm at like 145, 146. So I feel good, and I post a picture of myself like without a shirt on, and I feel like I look good, and other people tell me I look good. And
it feels nice.
And that, yes, and yeah. I sometimes look for validation. It feels nice. I get my dopamine hit. Great, awesome. But I also tell my social media following, or I tell everybody that what I'm trying to do. I want likes. Mm-hmm. In that post, I want likes. In doing those things, I tell people what I want and what I'm doing. And so I'm very open and upfront about why I'm doing what I'm doing. I feel like most people don't do that, and they let everyone else dictate what their content is for.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Do you agree or disagree?
I agree. But the thing is, like, it's easy for the rest of the world to decide who you are because you're just one person going against so many people.
Yeah.
But the reason I haven't tried so hard to change that perspective is because I never took social media that seriously, you know? So it was just like, I mean...
Isn't that interesting that, like, you having this following over so many different platforms, having so many people following you, and with me, I have a media agency. Like, I take this so seriously, and I don't even have a fraction of the amount of followers that you have, and you're just over here like,
I don't care.
Yeah, I don't care, which is great.
Yeah.
It's a really good mindset, because then you don't get trapped in the highs and the lows, like people loving you and people hating you. Although we just talked about when most people see me in the way that I just described, it is damaging. It is damaging inevitably. You can just say, oh, I don't care. Like, I am who I am, and I know who I am. Yeah.
But no, when it is so many people telling you the same exact thing, it hurts. And I'm being very vulnerable right now, but it does hurt, you know? That's not who I am. The way my followers see me is not who I am. And I wish I cared more. I wish I tried to put more emphasis on dictating how people see me. Mm-hmm. But at the end of the day, it's just like, look, man, if you want to see me as that person, that's fine. I wish I put more attention into like promos and, you know, collaborating with big brands. And I wish I did. I know that I would probably...
Let me ask you this, because we're going to have to end here. So one of my things, and like wasn't even thinking about doing this, or like I wasn't even asking this because like I didn't even know that's where you were trying to go. I have 30 seconds to even ask you this. Would you be down to actually sit down like outside of the podcast and talk about like doing collaborations with brand deals? Because that's what I'm doing with like 2 or 3 others.
Probably, yeah, most likely.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's dope. And also, how did you feel about this podcast?
It was really nice. It was really liberating.
Good.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'm going to end it now. And we're going to have to do that picture because I'm going to forget the picture. So, but the way that I end this, how do I end this? I really haven't figured out a way to end this. Anyway, all right. Well, thank you guys so much for watching. This has been Sips and Nips. I don't remember the episode. I'll put it somewhere here on the screen. Have a great day. Bye.